All right, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be working on a principle that I rely on pretty heavily when I'm drawing hands. And that is turning the metacarpal block into a block or a cuboid. And it makes drawing the hands a whole lot more simple. So we're going to start off with this hand here. And the first thing I do is I try to simplify the angles of the palm of the hand here into that metacarpal block. So I'll show you what I mean. We've got this line right here of the separation of the wrist and the palm. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to visualize the rest of the palm as simply as possible. So for example, I will ignore the thumb and find this line right here. We'll add the thumb later, but I just want to keep this as simple as possible. Then I want to compare the width to the length of the hand. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 2/3. So if we bring the palm out like this, we've got 1, 2, 1, 2 2/3. Okay, so this angle here is a little bit off. And this is going to wrap around probably something like this. Okay, so now we're going to move from that point and begin to see the actual block nature here. So this shape here is really, we're seeing the bottom side here, the palm, and then the side here. This will extend up into the wrist, and then the wrist will come back like this. The wrist will also build back here, and then we'll just, I'm just checking for quick angles. No need for any guesswork when you can just hold your drawing utensil up like this and find those correct angles. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to build off the shape for the thumb, and I really am just going to allow this to be as simple as a wedge shape coming off here. So ignore the complexity of the anatomy of the thumb, just find this shape right here. Just this wedge shape coming off. Now my question is, does the thumb extend down beneath the webbing of the hands? Yes, ever so slightly. Okay. I'm actually getting a little ahead of myself here. I'm still just trying to focus on the overall shape of the hand here. So I don't want to move into drawing the thumb too quickly. Now what I want to do is get the shape of all 4 fingers. And we're going to do this by using a process I call, well, I'm not the person who made it up, but I call enveloping. So I'm measuring to find out how long the finger should be. Okay, so once I have a basic idea of the angle that the finger should be coming out at, this one's coming straight out here. How far out does it go? I can measure that too. So one pinky finger goes in one, little less than the width of the metacarpal block right here. So it's going to come out to about right here. And then what I'm going to do is just capture the shape of all of these fingers here. And I can step back and ask myself, do I have the gesture correct? Does the hand feel flexed correctly? If I'm happy with it, now I want to plan the positioning of all 4 fingers. So here, pay attention to how much space does each finger take. We've got this space here. We don't want to jam the fingers together. We've got this spaced out area for the webbing between these 2 fingers, right? I don't actually know the technical term for the webbing. I'm sure it's not webbing. If any of you know the term for webbing, let me know in the comments, because I totally forget. I could just look it up in some of my anatomy books, but I've left those at home. I guess the internet would probably have the answers too. And we'll pop in the pinky finger here, which again, that's another appendage that I don't really know the technical term for. Maybe the 5th finger or the 4th. Anyway. All right, so we've got these fingers splayed out. Do I feel like they're splayed correctly? I think it's pretty good. Maybe this can come up a little bit more here. We'll find out though. So now we can bring the thumb down. And then what I like to do is take the meatiness of the hand and give it kind of 2 basic simple shapes here. We've got this form right here, and then this form over here. And now we can build out this finger here. And when the fingers begin to get complicated, we can just remember that it is just a segmented cylinder. Don't let it get too complicated. Keep it as simple as you can. I think that's the most important thing I've learned about drawing is the simpler you can make it, the better it'll be. Okay, so now we can bring this finger down. Pay attention to how these fingers are flexed, so they're kind of bending a little bit backwards. And then lastly, the index finger here. Everyone's fingers bend in different directions. Some fingers bow in, some are not able to. You know, on mine, my fingers are pretty straight, but some people's, their index finger really curves in. So notice I'm not letting them become just generic cylinders. I'm tapering them uniquely according to who my hand model is. Okay, so now that we have the basic plan in place, I can focus on areas of overlap here. So we've got this fold right here and here, and these folds become important because they're describing the nature of this cylindrical form right here. Now that we're moving in, we can allow the line for the metacarpal block on this side to disappear. We've got these folds in the hand here and here. But these kinds of details are far less important than getting the overall shapes in place. You know, we've already done the really hard part. And ironically, the really hard part is to make it simple. And if you make it simple, you make it easy. And here I can just begin planning basic light and shadow patterns. You know, you want to, same thing with the light and shadow, you want to keep it as simple as possible. So this is my process for taking a very complex part of the human anatomy and making it simple. So we can remove the enveloping here. And there we have a relatively simple drawing of a flexed hand with splayed fingers. So let me know what you all thought about the process in the comments. If you like it, if you didn't like it, if you think there's a better process out there. If you have any questions, ask in the comments. I'm sure I'll be able to get to them and respond to you. So, and if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel because I'll be posting videos like this far more regularly. So, thank you all for jumping in and watching me draw. Have a good day. Peace.